Alright, hello everyone. Today we are swapping a Mettler Toledo screen out on a model UCCW. As you can see, somebody nicked it pretty bad right there, which then pretty much shattered the screen. A couple minutes ago the screen was still visible and working, but the touch was obviously shot. It would light up, I should say. I don't think it does much anything else than that. And then I have a spare screen that I just took off of a spare unit we have that we took from a closed store. So we are going to take it apart. Alright, so here is the bottom. You will need to take, basically this screen is attached, this cable is pretty much all the way inside up here. We need to take this panel off here, the main panel, and then there's a connector here and a connector here that we kind of got to disassemble. Then the screen pops right off. So let's see, these are all Torque screws. Is that the right one? Yeah. T20. And then these are just tiny Phillips. So I will come back after that. Alright, so here we are with the main bottom cover completely taken off. This is now loose. So we can now trace this cable through to under here, pop that tape off, this, and then it goes to this single cable right here on the board. Pop straight off. It is, well, it's semi-keyed. You got that little notch in the socket right there, and then there's a matching notch right there. You kind of see it sticking out. And then the only other thing after that is there's a little screw down here. What do we got? Looks like a Phillips. So I'm just going to undo that, feed it through, and then we'll get on the next step. So I've taken out the cable, I've fed it out from inside, and I've undone the screw. This silver spot here is kind of ground out the it's kind of ground out the wire, so there's no sort of charges that run through the unit. Now we're going to be taking, let me see if I can see it, is this two screws, one on each side, identical. Take this out, and then you kind of have to use a flat head in here, right in here, to pop that out once the screw's out. Let's see, there's also a metal bracket here, which I have some from the other units. Basically, it's just the four different positions that you can put the scale screen in. Kind of just sits like this. And then there's a little notch in the bottom here that locks into these holes. Alright, I've got the screen off now. It was, you know, pretty simple process. This screen is actually still good for the display, I believe, so I'm going to keep it around for that, but the touch screen and the glass are just destroyed. And the frame is kind of, well, not a bad bezel damage, but who knows what else is bad under here. So now we're just going to go in the opposite direction to replace the screen. So first thing first, I'm going to fit the screen on these little stubs, and then I'm going to put this component in the screws. So I'd suggest putting those little these pieces in first, but leaving them loose. That way you're not trying to fight this unit to get it locked in over here and then have to squeeze these in later. So I basically just put the screw in, did a little quick turn on it, nothing too exciting, and had it in place while I locked everything else in. So now I'm going to go ahead, feed the main cable through, and we'll be back after that. Alright, so I have the power cable, data cable back in. I did have a hell of a time getting this connector in. You can see it. So don't feel bad. The power cable here to the main power supply is pretty short, so I just popped it off. Takes a whole 5 seconds to put back on, so don't feel bad if you gotta take it off to get some more room. And there we go. I was being a little trouble there. So now I'm going to put the screws back in, put the main plate on, and then put all the screws in, and we should be good to test. Alright, so after replacing everything on the bottom, all the covers, I plugged it in, turned it on, did a full boot cycle. Now we're on the main screen. You can see it's following my finger pretty well. So let's do some French bread. And that prints perfect. Oh, that really does print really well. And it looks like the screen's good to go. Okay. Well, I feel this is successful. Well, this is the screen replacement on a Mettler Toledo UCCW. If you have any questions or tips of ways I could have made it better, or any comments, please leave them below. Thank you.